Hi, Anilestika. How are you?
Hi there, Siddharth. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to catch up with you. And my first question to you is what's been happening since the last time we chatted?
Yes, it's nice to talk to you again. I'm very, very happy to talk to you again. I'll say a lot has been happening since we last spoke, and I think and I'm very, very happy about that, of course. I did think, I did expect that, like I did plan for there to be a lot of happening because maybe by the time that we were last speaking, but that's just like the ready, set, go of the race. It's just the beginning of the race when we last spoke. And I definitely feel like I've been running that race pretty well. I've definitely been doing more dancing, more modeling, and I suppose just more work with myself. Um, as adults, as you're growing up and you're entering your 20s or going through your 20s and then even your 30s, there's so much work that's being done just with you, not on like,
Hmm.
I was just doing this at my job or I did this with my family, but like, what do you get out of your life? What do you make of your life? So even internally, I've definitely been like working a lot with myself in that way, and I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy to share that with you as well.
So, what have been the highlights since the last time we've been chatting? The last time we chatted, I mean.
Yes, yes. So I think the biggest one that's been on my mind is the time when I was modeling at the Dundee July. I was representing Irene's models there, but it was honestly one of my biggest fashion shows that I've ever done. And of course, I'd love to keep doing more backstage and on the ramp, but I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry. I couldn't actually hear your answer. I think we got kind of cut off. What was your answer?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I think you did freeze you did freeze a bit. I was saying my one of the biggest highs of this year or this time since we last spoke was modeling at the Dundee July. So Dundee July is like another another KZN version of Durban July. Although they have horse racing as well.
Okay.
So I'll say that that was one of my biggest performances, my biggest fashion shows that I've done. And even though in dancing we'll still do more work as well, that's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, biggest one of my biggest fashion shows, and I'm hoping that I can obviously do more of those fashion shows, whether it's backstage or on the ramp. But yeah, that's what's been on my mind a lot lately.
Okay. Any lowlights, if there were any?
Um, I'm glad you say it like that. I think if I'm looking mainly internally, like I'm very happy and I'm very blessed and grateful for the life that I've been living in general, but especially this year, it's been going very well. Internally though, I think a lot like everybody as they grow older, 20s and your teens and even later on in your life, everybody has this thing of facing themselves, facing I'll say the dark sides of themselves and the lighter sides of themselves. And in those dark
Hmm.
sides, at least with myself, it was facing things like laziness and depression. And although I do feel, although I have felt depressed and one that can feel depressed, there is also a difference between like feeling depressed and having depression. I just wanted to make that clear. But yeah, like dealing with those parts of yourself where you want to be better, but you're not doing as much as you want to do, or you didn't do as well as you thought you did, or like those kind of lows, I'll say. But that's mainly on the inside that I've been feeling.
Okay. So, what are your plans for the rest of this year and beyond?
Yes. So like I mentioned earlier, there are more dances that I'll be doing with my dancing crowds, with my dancing group.
Okay.
I'm dancing with Judy Umrao School of Dance, and we have uh, a show booked for Diwali in October.
Oh,
So I'm very excited for
wow.
that. We've been practicing so hard. Yes. It's going to be a pretty big show, I think, for all of us for the
Mhm.
year. So I'm really excited for that and hoping to obviously do good, do well. Um, and then besides that, even with my own personal work with YouTube, for example, I know when we last spoke, my YouTube was very much a mess, I felt. So I removed everything, put on new things since we last spoke, and I think I'm on like my sixth or seventh video now. And even though it doesn't have many likes, it's still like the work that I'm doing. So I definitely feel like as that's going to grow more, yes, more likes and more views, but more importantly, what I'm doing out of it. So what can come out of for that? That's what I'm looking forward to for the rest of this year.
Okay. You mentioned Diwali. Is this going to be in Durban or where's it going to be?
It's going to be in Peter Marisburg, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. All right. I think my final question to you is, what were your thoughts on this year's elections?
Yes. For the elections, I was feeling a bit, I'll say nervous because this is one of the most important ones, although they're all important. But 2024 compared to 1994, at the same time, with there being like with people becoming more and more aware of the power that they hold amongst each other and how much more important it is that civilians, like normal civilians, are getting the resources and the rights and the like community that they deserve compared
Oh,
to the
oh,
rest of
so,
them.
oh, so, oh, so sorry. Do you mind just starting your answer at the beginning? Because I couldn't hear you. Because as you notice, I froze and all that. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, sorry. I did. No, no problem. Yeah, no, no problem at all. I think I was going on long tangents anyway when I started. But to answer your question,
Okay,
I
okay.
was feeling very excited and pretty nervous about the elections because more and more people are understanding or seeing in South Africa how unfair some things are, like when it comes to poverty and
Hmm.
class, how we can really like I think it's important that we understand or want to understand how we can get more people out of poverty and get less corruption for one. But then having the GNU, I think that's really interesting. It was my first time experiencing GNU. I think I don't know. No, I don't think America has something like that, but I did also hear something like that happening in America. I might be wrong about that, sorry. Um, but it's actually really interesting to see a lot more change happening, especially like right after the elections, actually seeing something happening. Um, I know in Peter Marisburg, the roads, at least the roads, are being, sorry, the roads in the town are being repainted, being cleaned, and it's, you would think, why hasn't this been done before? But honestly, I'm just happy that it's being done now. And it's
Hmm.
changing my opinion a lot on how governments should be run or can be run.
Okay, so you seem to be a fan of the GNU.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but yes, it seems like it's going okay. Yeah.
Okay, I think on that note, that's pretty much a wrap. And before we freeze any further, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you too, Siddharth. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Anytime.